I was probably 19 or 20 years old, and by then I had already, I was working in a collision shop. I'd buy wrecked cars, fix them and sell them, and I had my first apartment house by then. I bought an old rundown house. I got it for no money down, and I built 9 apartments in it, and I'd build one apartment and I'd live in it while I remodeled it. So I'd work on cars during the day. At night I'd work on this first apartment. I'd get it done. And then as soon as it was done and it looked nice, I'd rent it and I'd move into the crappy one and rebuild it, and I got all 9 done. And I realized at a young age that at that time I was starting my real estate career, and by the time it was all rented, it was doing really well. It was cash flowing really well. My dad, always working hard and born during the Depression, was always like, don't borrow money. If you could do it yourself, don't dare hire anybody else. And I knew it was fundamentally flawed because it wasn't working for him. So I used to spend all day Saturdays in this apartment house. I had a monster lawn. I'd weed whack all day. I'd mow the lawn. And one day it just hit me. I said, what my dad thinks is wrong. Like, doing this, during this time, this 7 hours of mowing, I could pay the neighbor $50 to do it, and I could go fix one more car or find another piece of real estate or flip a car and sell it for a profit. And I could make maybe a couple grand today. My ROI would be monstrous. So the first time, literally the first week, the kid's mowing my lawn, my dad pulls in the driveway and he sees and he gets out and he goes, "You're gonna pay someone to mow your lawn? You got bigger than your britches, this is it for you." And I remember just sitting there, and I hated, my dad could be confrontational sometime, and he got so mad at me, like furiously mad. He got in his car and it was a gravel driveway, and he hit the gas so hard it sprayed rocks all over my car, like dented the whole side of my car, ding, 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 ding. And he left pissed, and I remember just sitting there. It was really a moment in my life, and I'm like, wow, his beliefs are so strong, and if you could do it yourself, you should do it, that it's compromised him and having the ability, to have more freedom, have more joy. And I realized at that moment, it didn't make me want to fire the kid that was mowing my lawn. It anchored in the fact that, wow, this is what I need to do more of. And I think I've been on a journey. You're probably the same way. I still, on a quarterly basis, I still look through everything I do, and it's like an onion. You keep peeling away the onion of what you shouldn't do. And I still look, I'm like, what can I have an ROI on? What can I make several $1,000s an hour, whatever the number is, and pay someone to do it? So that was a big tipping point in my life, because I started realizing that I didn't have to do things that I could get a better ROI on. And then it evolved even more so into stop doing things I sucked at, because the world and even school teaches us in so many ways to work on our weaknesses, to get stronger. And I think that's a huge flaw. I think we just get great at what we're good at. We only need to be good at 1 or 2 things, and we can make an impact on the world. It's never what we think it is. It's not the economy, it's not the president, it's not that somebody already dominated the health food industry or dominated Facebook advertising or dominated TV advertising, or there's no room left. It's never that. It's always the story we tell ourselves on why we can't achieve that. And if I wanted to boil it down, I would just say, what is your biggest why? What's your biggest goal that you would love? If it was a year from now and we were sitting here, you're watching this, and it was a year later, and it was the best year of your life, what would be the biggest thing that would have changed in your life? From money, income, family, love, intimacy, being a better dad, mom, whatever that is. If you say to yourself, I would love that goal. Like, I'd love to have my company doing $1 million a year in net profit so I could have freedom for my family. Then just say but. And whatever that but is usually your story. It's like, I would love my company to be doing $1 million yet, but I live in a smaller town and there's just not enough people to do it. Or the internet's so saturated, there's no room to advertise on Facebook anymore because everybody and their brother's on. Whatever that story is usually your story, and that's the results you get. And that story is the thing standing between you and your next level. And I know people are watching right now going, oh, Dean, that's nice. You guys got money now, so it's easy. I don't have any money. I don't have a partner. I don't have any business experience. This economy's not right for what we do. And where there's that old saying, where there's a will, there's a way. If your story is that's what you'll continue to get. So what I would say is, if I was gonna boil it down, is find what that story is. Now, to you might be saying, Dean, you're saying it's a belief, it's reality. And maybe it's phase 3, but reality is nothing more than our perception of a situation, right? We all know that. You've read that about it, you've watched it on Tom's show, everybody has said it, but maybe this is the first time you actually think about it, that reality you think is holding you back is really just the story. So there's 2 things I say, is go find somebody else with that same story. Like, go look at your evolution. where you were on your couch, no money, right? Go look at Richard Branson's story. Look at Tony Robbins' story. Look at John Paul DiGiorio, or all the amazing books. I've read every book in there. That's amazing, the people that you've got to interview and meet. But read all those stories and realize that, first of all, that story you have is probably a lie, right? So if you can find proof, like leverage that it's a lie, that's one thing. But then the one that would get me is, I love aspiration. I love to look and say, look what you did, man. I want to get there. If he did it, I can do it. But sometimes you need the pain as well. So what I like to do is, I like to take that story and think it's 5 years from now, and think it's 10 years from now, and you're still in the same exact spot you are now. You're still worried, you still have envy, you still want more, you desire more, you want to take care of your family, you want to provide more, and think that story, those 2 sentences, is the thing holding you back. Do you really want to give that story that much power? And then think it's 10 years from now, and that story is still done. And all of a sudden, for me, I think, am I going to let that story stop me? I brought my son with me today. Am I going to stop from giving him the opportunities that I didn't? I have 2 children. I'm not raising entitled kids. I want to give him massive opportunity. I don't want to leave him a trust fund. I'm going to leave him massive opportunity and train him. I'm not going to let any story get in the way of me being that dad. And if a story pops up that says, hey, I can't make baseball this week because of this, I'll change the damn story. I'll fist fight with that story. And I'll look at the pain I'll have if I keep that story. So I love the aspirational part of, this story will stop me from my new life, but I also like, are you gonna let that story screw you around for the next 5, 10, 15 years? I mean, man, we're gonna be 90 laying in a bed looking up, like, before we know it. And you wanna think, I squeezed all I could out of life, or did I let just beliefs that other people gave me hold me back?